Hello and welcome. It's an incredible time to be alive, isn't it? We've all got these little devices in our pockets that can capture every moment of our lives in stunning photos and videos. We've got algorithms that know what we want to see even before we do. But in this world just flooded with content, with instant everything, I've been asking myself a question. Why choose this slow, sometimes really difficult process? It's a totally fair question. And for me, this isn't something I just fell into. It was a very conscious choice. And I want to walk you through exactly why I made it. See, I had this realization. We all leave traces of our daily lives behind, right? The photos we post, the places we go, but I felt this really deep need to leave something more, a record of my inner world. My thoughts, my worries, my little moments of joy. And it all boils down to two really different but connected motivations. Okay, so let's get into it. The first reason, well, it's a bit ambitious, I'll admit. It's about this idea of a kind of immortality. And the second one is much more personal, much more about the here and now. It's about finding something I didn't even realize I'd lost. So let's start with the big one. How to live forever. Yeah, I know, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, doesn't it? But what I'm really talking about is creating a digital version of my consciousness, a true digital self that could stick around long after I'm gone. And I actually have a very specific plan to try and make this happen. So here's the plan. The goal is to write 10,000 distinct pieces of text before I go. 10,000. Why that number? Because I want that collection to be the data source, the literal training manual for a future AI. An AI that could learn not just the facts of my life, but how I actually thought and felt. And this right here, this is the key difference. We're all leaving behind these external traces, photos, videos, social media posts. They show what we did. But writing captures the why. It's the internal trace, our thoughts, our philosophy, our unique way of seeing the world. That's the real raw material of a mind, and that's the data I want my digital self to be built from. This whole idea isn't just some futuristic whim. It's rooted in a really old, really human feeling. I remember reading about a letter they found in the tomb of a woman from Korea's Joseon dynasty. And reading her words, feeling her grief and her love so rawly across hundreds of years, it just gave me chills. It was a real connection. That feeling, that's what I'm talking about. It's this sense that deep down, the core of what makes us human, love, loss, hope, it just doesn't really change. And my hope is that my writing can be that kind of bridge for someone, someday. A way for them to connect with a person who is alive right here, right now, in this crazy era. So, okay, that's the grand long-term mission. But there's a second reason I write, and it's just as important. It has nothing to do with the future, actually. It's all about rediscovering a simple kind of joy, right here in the present. It's about coming back to a part of myself that I had totally forgotten about. I bet a lot of you can relate to this. As a kid, I was always writing. I kept a diary pretty much every single day, all the way through college. And then life happened. I started working, things got busy, and that private conversation I was having with myself just fizzled out. The time and space for it vanished. It's only recently that I've started to reclaim that simple, pure enjoyment of just getting my thoughts out onto a page. And what I rediscovered is that writing is so much more than just a hobby. It's a kind of catharsis. It's a way to untangle all the knots in my head and just get some clarity. That feeling of taking a messy, chaotic emotion, wrestling it into sentences, and then looking at it and feeling like, okay, I can handle this. Man, that is so restorative. And while I was feeling all this, I remembered a writer who had described this exact thing perfectly. This whole journey back to writing felt like it was guided by someone I'd met a long time ago, just in the pages of a book. It was a writer who just perfectly put into words the exact feelings I was starting to have again. That writer was Lin Yutang, and when I picked up his book, The Importance of Living, again, it honestly felt like I was meeting an old friend, a kindred spirit. He just got it. He understood the deep, profound happiness you can find in the simplest, most everyday moments, the very things I was just starting to notice again myself. And this is what's so special about writing, isn't it? It's the perfect tool for capturing these little, fleeting moments of happiness. The kinds of moments that are so easy to miss, but that, when you add them all up, really make for a happy life. Lin Yutang gives some absolutely beautiful examples. Just let that one sink in for a second.
the simple sound of your own language after being away, that feeling of belonging, of finally being home. Writing can hold on to that feeling forever.
Or how about this one? That feeling of pure relief after what feels like a month of gray skies. You hear the birds again, the sun feels warm on your face. It's just pure, simple, sensory joy. A few words on a page, and you can feel it all over again. And then there's this one. Wow, what a powerful image. It's about forgiveness, right? About letting go of all those old burdens and resentments, watching them literally turn into smoke and vanish. That feeling of release, yep, that is happiness. So yeah, this is why I write. It connects my present self with my future legacy. It lets me grab hold of these little flashes of happiness. And in doing that, I'm building this huge library of what it actually felt like to be alive. And that library, that's the data for my digital self. Writing is my joy today, and it's my shot at immortality tomorrow. So we'll just leave you with this question to think about. In this age of endless data, we are all leaving a trace behind. That's not a choice. The only choice we have is what kind of trace it will be. So, what's the true internal trace that you want to leave behind?